The 25th of August, number of the day is 139. It is a long-standing number. Aakash, we're talking Goldfields. Great returns, seemingly a great company right now.
Yeah, so Goldfields released their first half update, have done fantastically well, largely on the back of a strong gold price. But here's what interested me is the fact that this company was always shaped by politics. It was shaped by politics 139 years ago, Gareth, when they first started. Under a character you may remember, Cecil John Rhodes.
That's how far back we're going.
That's how far back we're going, right? So started under him, and as you'd remember, you were probably very young back then.
Yes, I was.
There was the Jameson raid. There was the conflict between the Boers and the British back then.
I was out of town at the time.
When the Jameson raid happened. But, today there's other factors that are impacting the company by way of a strong gold price. And it's interesting how in this entire history, business never happens in a vacuum. It's always, shaped by politics.
Give me an example, because I know there is an issue ongoing at the moment with Ghana. We'll get into the gold price now and why that's done so well for them. But the Ghana issue is a big problem at the moment.
Well, Ghana was already pushing for localization, i.e. for Ghanaians to own Ghana's resources. That was already happening. And Goldfields has a very successful mine. They've invested a lot in the, I think it's pronounced Tarkwa mine in Ghana, done very well. And then, of course, we had South Africans in the protest against undocumented migrants who went and had this go against people from Ghana and, wanted the undocumented guys out. And that had a result where people from Ghana said, well, we don't want South Africans in Ghana. And as a result, this movement that was already starting in Ghana has taken on greater strength. And they're saying, well, government of Ghana, don't renew Goldfields' contract.
That's the danger of that sentiment. And this was always going to be the problem. I remember when we were covering it as ENCA, it was that long tail effect, which we weren't going to know what it was at the time. But now it's affecting a company as big as Goldfields. And now we can look back and go, okay, this is what we were being warned about from a business perspective.
Yeah. And, Ghana's one issue, and that's impacting on the ongoing business operations in Ghana because they have a lease until, I think it's April next year.
2027.
And the government there hasn't yet said yes or no to Goldfields, but they've invested a considerable amount of money in that operation. And obviously, it's going to impact their business if they're not allowed to continue operating in Ghana. And, given the history of this business, how long it's been in existence, it's important that they carry on.
And it looks like Goldfields are maybe considering activating some sort of legal process within that lease as well, because it was November 2025 when that application came in from Goldfields for the mine in Ghana. And I don't know what the kids call it these days, but it's basically they're being blue-ticked at the moment.
Correct, because they've put in all the required documentation and all that they're doing right now is waiting for a response from the government of Ghana, but it simply hasn't happened.
Let's talk gold price, because obviously Goldfields, I imagine the gold price at the moment, for various reasons, which I hope you're going to tell me about, is pushing up their profits. I mean, it's a massive jump. What is it again?
Yeah, well, they're up by more than 80%. Shareholders benefited tremendously, but it's all on the back of this higher gold price, right? And what spurred that gold price? And there's a number of different factors. It probably started with the war in Ukraine. There's growing sentiment away from the American dollar, away from American debt, and gold has become a safe haven. And I mean, recently we heard that the Chinese are buying a lot more gold for their central bank, like our South African Reserve Bank does, because you hold it as a very strategic reserve asset. So this gold price, some people are saying it's currently trading just under $4,700 an ounce. Some people are saying $5,000 by the end of this year. And if I remember correctly, I think it's JP Morgan that are saying by the end of this year, we're probably looking at $6,000 an ounce. So clearly, there's a lot of bullish sentiment around gold, and that's going to impact on every gold miner, Goldfields included.
And I know safety is obviously a very big thing for any mining company, any mining industry. When there's safety issues, that's going to affect the sentiment in that sector as well. Safety when it comes to Goldfields as well, because when they start looking at the renewal of leases, when they start looking at where this massive jump in profit has come from, safety is, I would guess, I'm not a mining person, but I would guess safety is paramount in that sector, and it's something that can boost at least the the want to be involved with a company like this?
Well, what I really appreciated about their story was that in the 6 months that they reported on, no serious injuries. And it tells you how far the sector has come. If you look at back in the 80s when Gwede Mantashe and Cyril Ramaphosa were part of the mine workers union and they were fighting for greater safety, and we've come such a long way, right? And then you look just across the fence from where they operate and there's Zamazamas, informal mining where guys don't even have boots, they don't even have helmets. We recently at ENC were reporting on miners, gold miners who'd been killed, in a landslide. So on one hand, the more established companies have done so much to improve mine safety, yet we now find ourselves in a situation where many of those gains can be completely reversed by the informal sector. And that's a tragedy.
It is a tragedy. It does make me also think, though, because when it comes to safety and the pitfalls of that and the up and down gold price in years gone by, I think we can thank what's happening with the US dollar at the moment for the good gold price. How many companies today that exist today or have recently formed, for example, in, say, the last 20 years, are going to be around in 139 years?
That's a great question, right? And at the top of my head, there's a couple that I could think about. But remember this much as well, right? It takes real strength of character to be able to go through those highs and those lows. And 10 years, just 10 years after Gold Fields was established, it was recognized as one of the most valuable companies in the world. So we had a company, the equivalent of an NVIDIA, perhaps a Tesla or a SpaceX in South Africa. And 130 odd years ago, that company was Gold Fields. And the challenge to many South African companies, the existing ones, is how do they ensure such a legacy? But more importantly, for young people who want to grow their own businesses, what's the secret behind that success?
When you find out, let me know as well. So it's shining even more for Gold Fields. The number of the day, 139. That's obviously the years we were talking about, but a jump in profits, 81%. How happy would it be to be their CFO right now and their shareholders? That's number for the day. And back with you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.